Welcome back. We survived week 1. So, starting back here, day 1, week 2. Now, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff because, it's the first 2 to 3 weeks of a program. You're just adjusting to the new feel. Although, comparatively, there's not a whole lot different from my training in this cycle other than the extra day and the splitting up of the workouts compared to my 3-day split that I was doing before this program. But, usually for the first 2 to 3 weeks, it's a feeler period, like a discovery period, see how you're going to adjust to it. I know I mentioned that 2 consecutive weeks back-to-back of performance decreases means I'll deload and change it a little bit, but I'm going to give myself at least 2 to 3 weeks to adjust to the program first, so I'm not just doing week 1, week 2, okay, performance decrease, and then change it. Usually it doesn't really work like that. Just let yourself adapt to the program and then make that discovery period last like 3 weeks at least. And then after that, if there's 2 weeks of performance dip, then we'll change it up. But so far so good. I noticed that my bench was feeling a little bit lackluster today, so I had to drop the working sets a little bit. Not a huge deal, but I did start back on a little bit of a cut, just because putting on some weight since Newfoundland's in lockdown and trying to not let that get too out of hand. I did get a question on Instagram about why I do beltless work for my squat workouts. And honestly, it's not a sexy answer, but it's an honest one. And that's the fact that wearing a belt allows me to lift heavier weight. And so taking off the belt allows me to artificially limit the total intensity or weight on the bar, but still allows me to get in some solid work for the squat. It's a way to keep me honest with my rate of perceived exertion selection. So for these workouts, I'm trying to keep the squat volume work around a 7 RPE, which roughly equates to 3 reps left in the tank, but that's kind of reps in reserve as well. I'm kind of conflating those two, but just as a basic summary, it should feel almost like you have 3 reps left in the tank, maybe less. But yeah, 7 RP is what I'm shooting for here, and I don't want to be lifting too heavy all the time because I find that the RPE just ramps up, and then it allows me to just kind of cheat the RPE because I tend to want to add weight week to week to week. That's just the powerlifter brain in me that wants to keep adding weight when I really don't need to. There's nothing bad at all about sticking around similar weights and rep ranges for a while as you adapt to it and then allow yourself to move up. But yeah, that's the main reason why I perform a lot of beltless work on accessory movements or even on main movements, is just to limit the total weight on the bar and still hit my my rate of perceived exertion goals for the day. You'll notice that I actually went up 10 pounds in my squat sets for this week, and that's because when I did my set of 6 at 315 as an indicator set, it moved almost like a 6 RPE, so I bumped up the weight about 10 pounds and kept the same reps, but only did 2 working sets after my indicator of 6 at 325, just because the difficulty hit that RPE cap and called it off there. And after that, I went on to some safety squat bar Platz Squats, also beltless. So this is only 100 pounds here, I believe. I think the safety squat bar that I have here, I bought it used, so I'm not sure the exact weight of it, but I think it's like 75 pounds plus a 10, 2.5 on each side. But doing sets of 20 here for 2 sets, not too bad on the quads. Still trying to adjust to this exercise where I've never done it before prior to last week, but it seems like a fun one to kind of push a little bit for high reps. Just practicing staying in that, basically staying in my legs during a squat pattern and not letting my back and glutes and hip extensors do all the work. After that, moved on to some high rep tricep extensions, which with the worst form ever, but I'm not doing this to be a bodybuilder. I'm just doing it for some extra movement for the triceps, and shoulders get a little bit of a hit too, so screw it. But overall, not a bad day. Still putting in the work for the first part of the week, and we'll see where this week goes. Thanks, guys.